welcome. This is a review of the Audiomax SRW-810 AM/FM shortwave radio. I received this radio from China. It was $14.20. It came in a little mylar bag and no bubble wrap, and you can tell that the box gets a little beat up on its way from such a far distance. As you notice, it has a few things here: line in, record, TF card, MP3, WMA. We'll go over those. Some people are familiar with this type of radio. If you flip this over, you'll see why. The famous TIV 115, or as it's known here, the Audiomax SRW-710. This radio, right up front, is superior than the 810. So if anybody's interested in looking at these type of radios, look at this one, the V115 to video, or the Audiomax SRW-710. So going back, the box, as you can tell, is beat up. Inside the box are the items, and I decided to take them out because I'm filming this one-handed. So we'll set that aside and bring out what was in the box. Over here we have the wonderful Chinese written guide. There's some English in here. And the only helpful feature I found in this entire manual was the part where they talk about the system settings, because I was a little frustrated on my AM frequency and I had to try to figure out what to do, and also language options, which you'll notice are not available. The only options we have is timing shutdown, contrast adjustment, backlight time, and return to the main screen. So just 3 menu options. So that was a little disappointing when I received this radio. I did not know that I could not have English menus at all. And then I found out that this particular radio, the 810, tunes on a 9-step versus a 10-step. So you'll notice a little blurb right there, the numbers, the multiples of 522 plus 9 are valid. So North America or the Americas doesn't do us any good. So we'll touch on that in a little bit. So that's our wonderful manual. This side, USB charging cable and interface for the computer. The cool thing about these radios, I found out, is that they can be used as an external USB speaker for your computer. I had a computer with no speakers attached to it. I kept using headphones, and then I plugged in this, and all of a sudden the music started coming out of the radio set. So that was pretty neat. So that's a handy little feature. Going to the radio, it was bubble wrapped, so that protected it. You saw the box, how beat up it was. Here is the radio. As you'll notice right away, we'll kind of compare them side by side. The screens, there's a big difference in the screens there. One is much larger. This one here, very easy to read. The LCD contrast level is very nice. This one here, very difficult to read. The font size is smaller, everything's narrower. So definitely a plus for the TIV V115. But going back to the main review here, you'll see that there's some different layouts on the buttons. We have a mode button to the left of the screen, a record button to the left of the screen, which I actually like. It's very handy. To the right of the screen, mic. It's got actually a bigger opening for the microphone port versus the other radio. It has the pause, play button, and repeat. Repeat function is also your menu button. I know it says menu or memo here, but here if you hit repeat and hold it, it'll go into the menu, and we'll show you that shortly. You have your volume control. I didn't get into the delete files. And of course, here's your band select. So without further ado, we'll show you the ports. On this side, we have a headphone port, a line-in port, TF card, which is your micro SD. There's one inserted there already. Did not come with one, of course. It says it supports up to 32 gigabytes. That's a 4 gigabyte in there. It takes quite a while to fill that up. USB charging port for the C connector. Over here, we have nothing. The bottom, nothing. The top, antenna, which of course swivels, comes out, swivels around, so you can stand it up with this wonderful doodad. I'd rather have something that flipped out on the back built in, but they opted to just cheap out and give us this little key prop up device. So we just kind of prop the radio up with that. I'm not going to show that because it's kind of a pain, again, one-handed. Turning the radio on, hit the power button, hold it, welcome. It's got one light instead of 2, as you saw. I have Chinese menus. It's a wonderful thing. So anytime I go through something like a band, I'll only see the Chinese menu. We go into the menu select by holding it down here, which we'll do, and you'll see that the options are all in Chinese, and there is no language option to change it from that, unfortunately. Holding down the menu again brings you in and out of the menu. Let's see if we can get back out of there. Come on, you. You can do it. All right. So we'll just go into a menu. I think this is the first option. We'll just, again, try to get out of here. My radio's being interesting. There we are. Okay. Quick press. We'll remember that. So if you're on a radio station like this here and you're like, oh, I like the song, you can press record and it'll start recording the song. Problem with this radio is it only records in 96 kilobits per second versus the TIV DO115, which has options. It has 3 different options. I believe 64, 96, and 128. So you have the ability to go even higher in the record options. So I just want another shout with that one because that is amazing that it has the 3 different selectable record formats. All right, going back to this radio. Okay, this was the killer for me when I go to AM. And, oh yeah, look, so this is a great thing. I have 1 station I can receive. So this station, 720, is a local station for me.
I'll be on with Camille. She's my producer from On the Road. So here's another thing I think might be fun.
I'll go, okay, let's go find a different station. So we'll go up, oh, 729, what's that? That's not a station. 738. So it's tuning in 9 steps. So I thought, okay, maybe I can change it in the menu. Nope, not available. So I thought, oh, look at these number keys. Maybe I could just punch it in. So I have a local station 780, so 780, and instead of waiting, you can hit this to go right to it. And nope, it will not let me do that, unfortunately. The only station I can get really that comes in for me is the 720, as you saw, which actually works out pretty good in one sense because that's my station that they do some midnight radio, which I like to listen to. So we will mute that. You hit the play to mute that station. You can see that mute flash icon going. It also has, of course, scan. I can do that. I can scan all the stations and it'll go to Storm, but they're only going to find 1 or 2 maybe because of the 9 steps on here. There's Shortwave. Shortwave's great on these radios. They start out very low, I think 4.8 up to 25. It's fairly high. It's quite the distance, and it has the, press and hold, and it'll scan the entire band as we sit here and stare in boredom. And of course, we probably won't pick up much during the day, especially indoors, as you heard that interference on my FM. Actually, this radio does very well on FM. I will say that. Last night I found 48 stations, so that was quite a feat in itself. So we'll let this scan, but as we'll look on the back, I forgot to mention, it does have the rechargeable battery. You can kind of see here in the back. All right, so we open that up. Another difference between this radio and the TIV comes with a 1000 milliamp hour battery, and this one comes with a 600 milliamp hour battery. And there is a difference. This one runs out of juice much quicker than the other radio. So again, something to note, these are replaceable. A YouTuber mentioned there's the gold 2400 pack, which is a really good replacement. So I ordered some of those to try and see what we get out of those. So I'm gonna put that back in. And it's still scanning, and we're probably not going to find any radio stations. So, but we can do another video later on that. So as we wanted to show, it has all these great features. Like I said, you can hit record and it'll start recording static, which is neat. It'll record on the shortwave, it'll record on AM or FM, which is really cool. And it'll go into the play mode. As you can tell, it's playing nothing here. But if you go, I believe here, you can select, yep. This is what I recorded last night. Yeah, audio quality is very decent.
I'm Greg Bell, and we open this time with the Bing Crosby Show and his special guest, Dick Powell. Later, it's a Thanksgiving episode of The Great Gildersleeve. At the time this next show aired, Dick Powell was busy starring his...
So, overall, skip this radio. I really wanted to love it if it had the frequency shift to 10 megahertz steps on AM. I'd be such a fan. It does not have that. I'm an AM listener, so I do miss that. So if you had a choice, just kind of get rid of the ugly sister, and there we go. You're going to want this one right here. Don't even have to turn it on. There's tons of reviews on this one. You will definitely enjoy this radio. On par, way better than this one. This one must have been an older one, even though the model number is newer, 810 versus 710. And another little tidbit, if you open this radio, which I did, you'll see it's branded Audiomax, and the motherboard is marked SRW-810. So this is actually an Audiomax radio in disguise as a Tivito V115. So you won't go wrong with this radio here. So thank you for listening, and hopefully that helps you in your purchasing decisions. Take care. Bye-bye.